Well, they've done it. Yes, they have. There's a lot of people with their bitten fingernails, I suppose, if you're a Leeds United fan. But they are through to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Not, though, without a scare or two on the way.
That's for sure. They actually lost 2-0 to Deportivo de La Coruña last night, but they're through to meet Valencia next month, courtesy of the three superb goals they scored at Ellen Road in the first leg. Game was a nail-biter, as Chris has just said, and as Mark Dexter reports, emotions ran predictably high.
You just can't explain it. It's so many years since I've been this far. It's like, it's a dream. I tears.
It was that kind of night, one for saying your prayers. Ultimately, they were answered as Leeds squeezed into the last four, but only by the skin of their teeth. The last thing the visitors wanted was to give Deportivo the belief that miracles can happen. But Harry Kewell's injudicious push inside the first 10 minutes resulted in a penalty dispatched by the classy Jalminia. The Spaniards laid siege to the Leeds goal after that, though United could have killed the tie had Alan Smith kept his composure during a rare attack. As it was, gritty defence, some spectacular goalkeeping, and on 3 occasions the woodwork kept La Coruña for the most part at bay. Deportivo did score again with 17 minutes left, but Leeds hung on, and afterwards the celebrations and emotions held a familiar ring.
It was the longest 90 minutes of my life.
I hope we play Bayern Munich in the final as well, make up for 1975.
That European Cup final defeat may be ancient history for today's crop of players, but who knows? Perhaps the present generation can go one better than their illustrious predecessors.
We didn't expect to get through the first stage, like the first round, and then once we got through there and we see the next group, we thought, well, we ain't going to get through that, and just take each game as it comes, and that's what we've done. And now we're in the semi-finals. No one can believe it, but we'll just keep going and going and going, and we'll try our hardest.
We've been on a bit of a run late, and we're disappointed to come here and get beat, to be honest. But who cares? We're through.
You know, it just keeps everything going. It wasn't a great performance on the night, but you know, it was enough.
We always said they were a great side. Nobody believed us because we played so well at Leeds. They've proven they're a great side. The Spanish champions, we just knocked them out. Valencia, here we come.
The semi-final first leg will be at Elland Road on Wednesday, May the 2nd. The away game is 6 days later.
Mark Dexter there, and our man out the stadium is John Shires. And John, it is getting eerie, isn't it, when you think of the great names that are just watching at home, Barcelona, Lazio.
Sure, and
now
I said to one or two of the players yesterday after the game, do you feel now, having gone through all this, that your name's on the cup? They won't go that far, obviously, but there are one or two parallels. You know, the last time they actually won in Spain, because they lost 3 times this year, the last time they won, 1965, 1966, Fairs Cup against Valencia. So they've won that before.
There's something going on, isn't there? I mean, I'm not disparaging Leeds. They're proving themselves to be a great European
They were
team.
outplayed tonight. I've rarely seen a game where one side dominated so consistently for the entire game. That is probably until the last 15 minutes when actually Leeds started to actually get more of a grip on the game.
But something about Leeds, all the time I felt it's just going to stay at 2-0. I felt that, didn't you?
I wasn't entirely sure, actually, I have to say, but there you go.
Johnny Shires, you no doubt you'll be at the next one, Valencia, yeah?
Hope so.
Good man.
Yeah, I bet he will be.
With that tan.
Yeah, okay. It's fake. Anyway,
Well, they really made us suffer, didn't they? Right to the wire. But despite the onslaught from the opposition, Leeds United survived and are through to the semi-finals of the European Championships. Tim Smith was in Spain with thousands of happy Leeds fans.
We're going to Valencia! We're going to Valencia! We shut the pressure up. They were absolutely marvellous. And all credit to really these men for doing it. Can't wait now to go to Valencia.
I thought we'd do it all along, but I'm just really, really pleased that we've done it.
We've been rather unlucky. But anyhow, please destroy Valencia, that's all. Congratulations to you all.
Super Leeds! Easy!
Super Leeds!
Joy, delight, but more than anything, relief. The celebrations meant so much more because Leeds came so close to going out. Really close. Even the most experienced observers have never witnessed such an onslaught.
Once you get to semi-finals and finals, anything can happen.
If we can get our breath.
If we can get our breath. I don't want to go through that again. I don't know what they were like on the bench. I don't know how they suffered.
3-0 up from the first leg. They'll be okay as long as they don't concede an early goal, we thought.
And the Deportivo player goes down and a penalty has been awarded. Jalminia, the Brazilian now, trots up, strikes it low, left-footed into the bottom right-hand corner. Nigel Martin goes the wrong way.
Then a ferocious onslaught. Deportivo went close once, twice, too many times to mention, and that was just before half-time. The second half brought no relief. Nigel Martyn was one of many defensive heroes. But the Leeds bar took a battering. Eventually, the bombardment bore fruit.
And it's played in by Valeron, and it's steered into the near post by Diego Tristan. The two substitutes taking advantage of the quick free kick.
There were more near misses, but after that, Leeds' nerve held, just. This young team had survived a momentous battle. A semi-final against yet more Spanish opposition, Valencia, awaits.
I thought we looked a tired side tonight, but we're through. And it's about over. It's not about tonight. It's about over 2 legs, and we're through to the. I can't even believe I'm saying in the last 4 of this competition. It's unbelievable.
Well, it was close, very close, but Leeds are through. Just. Roll on the semi-final. Tim Smith, BBC Look North, La Coruña.
We hammered them, we hammered them, we hammered them. Where's our film?
So it's Valencia next, lying third in the Spanish equivalent of the Premier League. So what are they like? Well, here are some facts and figures for you. Valencia were the second best side in Europe last year, losing to Real Madrid in the European Cup final. They haven't been beaten by an English team at home since 1967. The winners then, and here's an omen, Leeds United. Back in 1980, David O'Leary played for Arsenal in the Cup Winners' Cup final against Valencia, losing 5-4 on penalties. Leeds should watch out for Pablo Cesar Aymar, a 21-year-old, £13 million secret weapon tipped as the next big thing. Well, I think our man Tim has just recovered from all the excitement. He's here in the studio with me with his assessment of Valencia. Now, the likes of Barcelona, Tim, and Real Madrid, they're famous names in Spanish football. We know about them, but we don't know so much about Valencia, do we?
They're probably the third biggest club, Claire. They're good. All the teams that are left in the competition now are. But I think it's fair to say Leeds would rather be playing them than Real Madrid or Manchester United or Galatasaray. So they're not going to be that frightened of them. They do have a bigger European pedigree than Leeds' opponents last night. Deportivo, as you said, they were runners-up in the final last year.
Now, there's going to be a lot of speculation between now and the big match in May, but what do you think Valencia's strategy will be against Leeds?
They're more of a defensive-minded team than Deportivo. They're third in the Spanish league. They've scored 11 fewer goals than Deportivo, but they've also conceded 11 fewer. So you'd have thought they would play it quite tight in the first leg at Leeds, and then if they've got a deficit to make up, as they did have against Arsenal last night, they would hope to do that at home. Leeds' problem will be the away leg. They've played 3 times in Spain this year, and although they've done very well in this tournament, they've lost every one.
Valencia, they're good on defence. Is that going to be a problem for Leeds?
Well, if they can get a few goals at Ellen Road, they should be OK. This tie against Deportivo was won at Ellen Road. David O'Leary was relieved he had a 3-goal lead because he knew they'd be submitted to a great onslaught last night, and indeed they were. So you'd hope they get a few goals in the first leg and then try and cling on out there.
Tim, I'm going to push you for a prediction. What's the score on each leg going to be?
I don't know. I've no idea. But if I had to predict it, I'd say Leeds would win at home and would probably lose away. The question is who wins by the greater amount, and you have to go for Leeds, don't you?
Tim, we won't hold you to that, but thanks for joining us.